So, let's get into what just happened at Montilivi, because this wasn't just another La Liga game for Barcelona. This 2-1 loss to Girona didn't only cost them 3 points. It cost them the top of the table to Real Madrid and poured even more fuel onto an already raging debate about VAR, refereeing, and Barcelona's defensive collapse this season. And the most ironic part? On a night when a lot of people tuned in expecting another Lamine Yamal masterclass, the teenager wasn't the one dominating the conversation. Instead, it was the goalkeeper, Joan García, who walked away as Barcelona's standout performer, and the one making the strongest comments after match. From the very beginning, this game carried extra weight for Barca. They were already coming off a painful defeat in the Copa del Rey against Atletico Madrid, a result that had dented confidence and raised questions about their mentality in big matches. On top of that, the La Liga title race had tightened, with Real Madrid right there waiting for any slip. That meant this trip to Montilivi wasn't just another stop in the calendar. It was a test of character. But instead of steadying the ship, Barcelona ended up taking another hit. Girona, who had been one of the revelations in Spain, took advantage of Barca's fragility. And while Lamine Yamal had some flashes, he never truly took over the match the way many hoped. In a game where you expect your attacking stars to grab control, it was actually the man in goal who did the most to keep Barcelona alive. Joan García pulled off several key interventions that stopped the scoreline from getting worse. Without him, Barcelona could have easily found themselves further behind. Yet, despite his performance, the moment everyone is talking about isn't a save he made. It's what happened in the build-up to Girona's decisive second goal, and what he said about it afterward. Late in the game, Girona found their winner, but the sequence leading up to that goal immediately set off alarms for Barcelona players and fans. During the play, Jules Kounde appeared to get the ball first, and then went down under contact. From Barca's point of view, it looked like a clear foul in real time, the kind of incident you expect a video assistant referee to at least review. On the pitch, the referee, Cesar Sotogrado, let play continue. No whistle, no stoppage. Girona capitalized, and the ball eventually found its way into the net for 2-1. In a match of this magnitude, with the title race so tight, that one decision felt enormous. After the final whistle, Joan García spoke to the zone and didn't hide his opinion. He admitted that in the moment, from his position, the action was too fast to judge clearly. That part is understandable. Referees and players alike often have to react in a split second. But once he'd seen the replays, his view changed. He said that, watching it back, it looked like Kounde got a ball first and then was stepped on. In his mind, that's a foul. What really puzzled him wasn't so much the referee's original decision on the pitch. He said he could accept that the official might miss something in real time, given how quick the action was. What he found hard to understand was the silence from VAR. With so many cameras, replays, and angles available, he was surprised that the video officials didn't at least invite the referee to take a second look on the monitor. Coming from a usually calm and measured player like Joan García, that's a strong reaction. He wasn't shouting or accusing anyone of bad faith, but he was clearly frustrated. He finished by saying that, as players, they can't control those decisions once they're made. All they can do is move forward. But the message was clear. In his view, VAR failed Barcelona in a key moment. This is not happening in a vacuum. VAR in La Liga has been under heavy scrutiny all season. Fans of multiple clubs have complained about inconsistencies, unclear criteria, and situations where some incidents are reviewed in great detail, while others, apparently similar, are ignored. Barcelona supporters in particular feel they've been on the wrong side of too many of these decisions lately, and the Girona game added one more controversial moment to a growing list. Social media exploded as soon as the replays hit the broadcast. Clips of the Kounde incident circulated everywhere, with fans pausing and zooming, arguing whether it was a foul or not. Neutral supporters, rival fans, and Barca faithful all weighed in. Some argued that the contact was minimal and that Kounde went down too easily. Others insisted that when a defender gets the ball first and then gets stepped on, it should be a foul every time. But the constant thread in all these debates was the role of VAR. If the technology is there to correct clear errors, why wasn't it used in such a decisive phase of the game? Joan García didn't stop at talking about that one incident, either. in his comments. He also turned the spotlight inward and addressed Barcelona's deeper problem: their defending. He acknowledged bluntly that this Barca backline is giving up too many chances and too many goals with far too much ease. For a club that historically built eras of dominance on both attacking flair and defensive control, that's a worrying admission. He also made an important point about his own role. He said that all the saves in the world don't mean very much if, at the end of the day, the team walks away with no points. It's a goalkeeper's version of brutal honesty. He can play well, he can win individual praise, but if Barca lose and fall further behind Real Madrid, his personal performance is little comfort. Looking at Barcelona's season so far, it's hard to argue with him. Defensive lapses have become a constant theme, whether it's switching off on crosses, getting stretched in transition, or failing to track runners into box. The problems seem to repeat themselves. Even when the attack clicks, there's always a feeling that one mistake at the back can undo all the hard work. That's where the mention of Lamine Yamal comes back into play. In some matches, the teenager has been brilliant, stepping up with skill and confidence beyond his years. But in this particular outing against Girona, he wasn't decisive. And that's absolutely normal for a young player. The issue is that Barcelona are in a place right now where they almost need magic from Lamine or another attacking star just to cover up their structural flaws. Relying on individual brilliance, especially from a teenager, is not a sustainable strategy for a title push. When those players have a quiet game or are well contained by the opponent, the team's weaknesses are exposed. That's exactly what we saw at Montilivi. No standout attacking performance, shaky defending, and one controversial refereeing decision. A recipe for the kind of defeat that shifts momentum in a title race. And speaking of that race, the timing of this loss could not be worse for Barcelona. March is shaping up to be a season-defining month. Between La Liga fixtures, Champions League commitments, and Copa del Rey ambitions, every game carries extra weight. Falling behind Real Madrid at this stage, especially in the manner they just did, only intensifies the pressure on Xavi and the entire squad. If Barca slip further in La Liga, they risk turning the domestic title hopes into nothing more than a mathematical possibility. If they also struggle in Europe or suffer elimination in the Champions League, the narrative around the season could darken very quickly. The Copa del Rey disappointment against Atletico Madrid has already raised questions. Another setback in Europe would force everyone, from the board to the dressing room, to confront some harsh realities. That's why Joan Garcia's comments, while calm, feel like a wake-up call. On one hand, he's highlighting an external factor, VAR, refereeing, and how decisions can go against you. On the other hand, he's reminding his own teammates that they can't hide behind those moments. Yes, the Count incident hurt them. Yes, it's understandable to be upset about it. But at the same time, a club of Barcelona's size and ambition cannot keep conceding so easily and expect to fight for every trophy. The Montilivi match laid everything bare. You had a team still reeling from a heavy Copa defeat, heading into a crucial league game against a confident Girona side, needing a result to keep pace with Real Madrid. You had a quiet night from a young star like Lamine Yamal, proof that even talented prospects can't be the solution every game. You had a goalkeeper doing everything he could to keep the team alive, and then stepping forward after the match to speak with honesty about both external decisions and internal issues. Around all of that, you had VAR once again right at the center of the conversation in Spain. This is not the first time La Liga has seen controversy around how the video system is used, and it won't be the last. Fans are growing tired trying to guess when VAR will intervene and when it will stay silent. The Girona-Barcelona match just adds another example to the growing list of incidents that will be debated on talk shows, in newspapers, and across social media for days. For Barcelona, though, there's no time to get stuck on one referee call. The season is moving quickly, and Real Madrid are not slowing down. Xavi and his staff have to find answers at the back, and they have to do it now, whether that means tactical adjustments, personnel changes, or simply demanding more focus and concentration from the current offensive unit. Something has to change, because as Joan García hinted, no amount of individual brilliance, whether from him saving shots, Lamine Yamal creating chances, or anyone else stepping up, will be enough if the team keeps allowing goals in such simple fashion at the top level, and especially in a title race against a machine like Real Madrid. Those mistakes are punished every time. The defeat at Montilivi might end up being remembered as just one game in a long season. Or it could turn into the moment that clearly marked the shift in power at the top of La Liga, the night Barcelona lost control of their own fate and handed the initiative to Madrid. Which way it goes from here depends entirely on how they react. We know how Joan García feels. He's made it clear. He believes his teammate Jules Kounde was fouled. He doesn't understand why VAR didn't step in, and he knows his own good performance means little when the scoreboard goes against him. Now, the question is whether the rest of the team and the coaching staff respond with the same level of honesty and urgency. Because with March looming as a decisive stretch, Barcelona don't just have to fight their opponents on the pitch. They have to manage the noise around refereeing, handle the growing VAR debate in La Liga, calm the nerves of their own supporters, and fix a defense that is visibly leaking under pressure. If they don't, this won't just be a controversial afternoon in Girona. It will be another step toward a season that slips away on all fronts.